things are coming together, and I think tomorrow when I get home from work, I'll probably tackle these two plates. I'll get those slots for the doghouse cut out, and that part of those pieces, those will be ready. Those will be ready to install on the sled. And that piece back there on the drill press, like I said, I'm just gonna have to go to town on it with the grinding wheel. Not exactly ideal. It's not going to be a lot of fun, but I can get it done regardless. So guess that'll be it till tomorrow. I'll catch up with you guys then. So it's Thursday evening, and I didn't think I was gonna have time to get in here after sending firewood through the basement window. But you can see the sled, the pusher plate, they're notched out for the little doghouse there, and coming along, moving forward, slow. I apologize, but I only got so much time in a day, and most of it's owned by somebody else. But so here's the backbone, all right, and that's the ram is going to nest itself in there. That's what it's going to push on, right in there. And this here, I'm going to be putting this 2-inch pipe in here as a receptacle for it, and I'm going to have this notched, so the end of this pipe is actually going to stick in about, I don't know, maybe 1 inch, 2 inches, somewhere in there, so I can get a weld on the, I guess the ears or the tabs or whatever. I want it to kind of surround or have a grasp on the actual backbone, and also be within the backbone to just try to, you know, keep the ram, well, where it's supposed to be. So yeah, we're moving along. Well, all right, everybody, here we are. Tried to save you guys a little bit of, you know, monotonous sparks and grinding and cutting and terrible camera angles. So I just kind of brought you in here. So the pusher plate's coming together really, really well. You can see here I got the notches both in the sled and the pusher plate. Got them notched out for the doghouse so that the wedge in here can protrude through. It's coming together pretty nice. I'm really happy with the results. I got, you know, some cleaning up to do. We got this, I don't know if you can see this here, this 2-inch OD pipe, and it's like 1.5 inches or so ID. That's gonna be, you know, the nest for that ram to couple into. So I'm gonna have that cut and put into place for this weekend's welding event. So that this weekend, maybe I still need some. I need to do some grinding for beveling and things like that. I'll probably be doing that tomorrow night, which is going to be Friday night, and then probably Saturday afternoon into Sunday is when I'm really going to start getting into the whole fabbing this thing up and doing the weld up. Now, this will be welded up. The pusher plate will be welded up. However, I'm going to have some webs here. You know, it's a 3/4 inch pusher plate. I may not need additional webbing on here, but I'm going to do it anyway. I want to be sure that I don't have any flexing here. You know, there's going to be a tremendous amount of pressure. This is supposed to be a 37 ton. That's what they claim it is. Who knows what it actually is? But you know, whether it's 17 ton or 37 tons, that's a lot of pressure. So especially at somewhere around 2,500 to 3,000 psi. So yeah, it's coming together real good. I still have other things going on here, and I've left you in the dark on that, and I'm going to continue to leave you in the dark on that. I'm sure you're looking at all this going on here, only a little bit of what I told you, you know, with the whole preliminary split concept and all that. Only some of that is why I'm going through all this. The rest of what I'm doing here is still going to remain a mystery for you guys, and you're just going to have to keep watching and see how things go along here. Trying to think that I leave anything else out. Oh yeah, here's another thing, excuse me. Here's another thing that I kind of made a change on here, right? So we got my mounting brackets here that I made for the log lift, right? So I decided that I'm not going to cut this area out, okay? And I'm also not going to, excuse me, I'm not going to incorporate these into the bracket for the log lift. The reason being, I'm going to repurpose these, I believe. I'm going to repurpose these for my log lift cylinder, okay? I'm going to make a mount on the bottom of the H-beam to accommodate this. And I'm going to have another one of these on the back of the log lift for the cylinder to also attach to and push on. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you think I should stick with this original design, or should I go, you know, the way I was just explaining here? I'm kind of thinking I can get some bushings probably from Tractor Supply. I could put, you know, a 1-inch hole here, get a 1-inch OD bushing, and then put a smaller bolt, you know, a grade 8 bolt through, and just use that as the pivot. It turns out the metal that I'm using back behind me at the workbench is actually leftover metal from an old trailer that I used to have. I had an Appalachian trailer many years back, and the long struts, because the ramps, when they were in the stowed position, they were vertical at 90 degrees in the back. And the struts, they were 3/8 plate steel, or strap steel, I guess you could call it, struts with 1-inch holes in them for the pins. And I've always had them. I got rid of the trailer. I actually took the ramps off at one point, and the ramps never went back on. When I sold the trailer, I threw the ramps on the back, and I guess the guy was so excited that he got the trailer and he left. Those things were still leaning on the tree. So I called him. I
told him, and he said, don't worry about it. It's just strap steel. I'll make some new ones when I get home. So here they are, and it actually works out perfect. When I put this bracket in here in the H-beam and I put those strap steel pieces in there, these horses with the H-beam on top actually are almost exactly where I want the height of the splitter to wind up being. It's around a 35-inch height, and that works out really good with those pieces. I almost don't have to make any cuts on those pieces to make it work. So that's actually a benefit for sure. Saved me a little bit of time anyway. So anyway, that's gonna be it for now. And you guys this weekend will be hanging out with me while I'm doing the weld up on this sled and the pusher plate. And who knows what else we're gonna get into. We might get into making the wings for the four-way and determining where I want their fixed position to be, or I should say static position, you know, where their home position might be. And I don't know, we'll have to see. Maybe we'll even mess around with the catch tray, or the what do you call it, the sorting tray. We might mess with that a little bit this weekend too. All right, everybody, here we are. So we've got everything beveled, cleaned up all the edges, and now we're ready for weld up on this push plate. The sled is still sitting over there. I didn't really have to do anything to the sled for the weld up part. But everything's grinded up, beveled. I had to do some tuning up to this. Had to make my receptacle for the end of the ram. Show you what we got going on here. So this is going to be pushing on the back side of the push plate. This is going to be welded to the sled, this here. And I'm gonna be taking this and nesting it in there just like that. So that's gonna be where the ram's gonna go into. The ram is gonna push on the back side of this 1-inch plate piece here. And I'm obviously gonna be welding all that up. I do have yet to drill the hole. I obviously will be doing that before weld up because it's gonna be a lot harder, I think, to get the marks I need to get if I weld it up first. So, but yeah, we've got it, it's ready for weld up. And I guess there's really nothing to it but to do it, right?
everybody. So I've been hard at work today, welding and grinding and fitting, and it's coming together. It's coming together real good. I'm actually quite happy with my welder today. I've got a Hobart. It's the MIG weld. I have two welders. I have the stick welder, and then I've got the Hobart 210. That's my MIG welder, and I'm really kind of, pushing the limits with that welder. That welder's technically only, rated for, like 1/2 inch, somewhere in there. And of course, all of my steel that I'm welding with it is not warm. We'll have to see. Hopefully these welds are, they look really good. I'm getting real good penetration. I'm not getting a whole ton of undercut or anything. I am getting a little bit of porosity, largely because I just, I'm kind of, back and forth with my MIG gun, dipping in and out, and sometimes that can cause porosity. Not to mention, these aren't 100% duty cycle welders either. You're talking, I think, like 30-something% duty cycle. So you can only go so many inches or for so much period of time, before, you need to give it a break. So because of that, some of my welds, I'll have a stitch weld that'll be, say 4 inches or 3 inches, and then I'll stop. And then I'll come back to it, and then when I start, you'll see kind of where I start. My welds have been coming out much nicer, so that's good. So this is the backbone. We've got the tube, the receptacle for the ram, all welded in and cleaned up. Nice and smooth and pretty looking. I have yet, obviously, to attach it to the sled and the push plate, which is over there. I've got the push plate welded to the sled. I just have the push plate face. I have that welded in. I left the back just tacked for now. We're gonna get to welding it in a few minutes here. Wanted to be sure that when I welded, the cooling process tends to shrink and pull the steel in the direction of the shrinkage, right? So I wanted to be sure that in the order that I welded, it was going to, wind up straight. So to prevent it from pulling this way now, when I weld the backside, I need to weld in the backbone, or at least tack it, do like 4 or 5 tacks to prevent it, from pulling back after it's cooling. So let's get this thing popped off. I already did fit it. It's not exactly perfect. Where are you going there, Bubba? So, yeah, it'll go through just fine. The hole wasn't exactly perfectly in alignment. I actually decided to weld this tube in, the receptacle, into the backbone prior to putting it on the drill press, because I figured it would be easier to clamp it down in place with all this extra meat, for available clampings for surfaces. So, but again, like I said, when I drilled, it went in fine in the top. The clamp started to kind of come loose, and then the tubing kind of rolled a little bit. Unknowingly, it didn't seem like it rolled, or if it did, not very much. So I ended up having to run a drill bit through here and kind of oblong this other side here, which won't be seen. It'll be behind a washer, but it's nice tight fit. And I got, like I said, I got my little 3-inch wedge there welded in. We're on our way, man. We are on our way. So
let's get this backbone welded onto the sled and the pusher plate and see how that turns out.
Not sure if the lighting in here is really doing any justice. So it's not the prettiest. feel about it? How's it looking to you? You guys liking what you're seeing? Or is this a whole lot for nothing, huh? Hoping maybe, yeah. We'll have to see. I'm undecided on if I want to add in those extra triangulated gussets, the webs that I was talking about. The ones that would go either out here on the outside, or maybe, you know, in here alongside. I do have 4 bolts here, about the mystery bolts for mystery reasons. So it would have to be far enough to the inside. I mean, I guess ideally, probably out here would make the most sense. Yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments. What do you think? Any of you guys who, you know, work with this heavy steel? This is a 3/4 inch push plate. This is a 1 inch backbone with the receptacle for the ram. The sled itself is 1/2 inch. So what do you think? I mean, is that going to be? Do you think that would be strong enough for so-called 37 tons of pushing force? Like I said, I don't believe that this is actually a 37-ton splitter. I've seen 17-ton splitters do what this thing does. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if anybody actually knows whether this is going to be strong enough just with the backbone, because I would like to be able to see all of this if I could. But if engineering requires overbuild, triangulated webs here on both sides, then that's what I'll do. Either way, I think it's coming out real good. Let me know what you guys think as far as how it's coming out. Like it, dislike it. So I'm going to take these shims and keepers off of here. We're going to get this sled on the H-beam in place, and let's see how it fits. See if I have to do any tuning up in the dog house or tuning up on the 3-inch wedge. So let's get to that. Goobers are stopping me. Okay. All right. So. Big girl. We're back. Hopefully, I can put this thing down. I think those goobers were saving me from losing my fingers, to be honest. Because this thing here is going to go where my fingers are. There we go. There it is. There it is. Push plate fabbed up. I do have to do a little bit of cleaning up on these welds here on that little
I'm not sure if I'm going to do it to the welds or the bottom inside edge of that doghouse on the bottom of the sled. Probably a little bit of both, to be honest. I don't want to take off too much weld on the wedge, so ideally a little bit of both would probably get it done. It's sitting up on the weld here, so there's probably about a light eighth of an inch gap between the H-beam and this side of the sled. So a little bit of fitment stuff, you know, and, it's coming together real nice. I like it a lot. Where'd the little hammer go? If that doesn't go, it's probably because of the welds. Yep. I could probably force it, but that's not worth it. So yeah, a little bit of cleaning up. That thing will drop right straight down. Make itself at home. Just went for a ride. So, ladies and gents, let me know what you think.